The dark silence of space stretched endlessly around the ruined world of the Los 4. Once a shining jewel of alien progress, it now floated broken, its cities silent, its people gone. The few survivors whispered a single word, a word that spread like a nightmare across the stars. Humans. No one knew when they came. No one saw how they fought. All anyone knew was that when the humans arrived, empires ended. Commander Vecker of the Zelnari Alliance stood on the bridge of his ship, the vigilant Dawn, staring at the burned planet below. His scales shimmered in the dim light, reflecting the red glow of firestorms still raging on the Los IV's surface. He couldn't understand it. The humans had no great fleets, no ancient weapons, and no vast empire. They were scattered, primitive even by galactic standards. Yet somehow, they won. How can a species born on a single dirt world destroy entire civilizations? Vecker muttered. His second-in-command, a thin, insectoid being named Yurix, hesitated before replying. They don't fight for conquest, Commander. They fight for survival. And that makes them dangerous. Vecker turned. Survival? Against the Zelnari? Impossible. Yurix looked down at his cracked claws. Then why are we standing over the ashes of the Los 4? The silence that followed was heavy. Outside, the void whispered secrets of war, broken satellites, shattered ships, and the faint radio signals of human voices still echoing in the darkness. Across the galaxy, stories spread like wildfire. The Empire of Draken collapsed in 7 days after facing a single human fleet. The merciless Cthor were driven back from the Edge Nebula. Even the cold, logical Illyrians reported something strange, humans who refused to die even when their ships burned around them. Rumor said the humans didn't fear death. Rumor said they laughed when the enemy outnumbered them. And rumor said that somewhere in the void, a single human ship, the SS Valkyrie, was still moving between stars, striking back against those who had once enslaved their kind. On board the Valkyrie, Captain Ryan Hale sat alone in the command chamber, staring at the flickering holographic map of enemy territories. His face was calm, his eyes sharp. The war had taken everything from him, his home, his people, even his world. Earth was gone now, burned to dust during the first invasion. But humanity didn't die with Earth. It spread like wildfire through the dark, into colonies, into ships, into hearts that refused to surrender. "Captain," said Lieutenant Mira, breaking the silence, "we've intercepted another distress call. The Los 4 is gone." Hale didn't look up. "Then we're too late again." Mira hesitated. "Sir, there's something else. They're blaming us." Now Hale looked up. "Good." Mira frowned. "Good. They think we destroyed an entire world." "They need to fear something," Hale said quietly. "Better they fear us than forget what they did." Outside the ship's reinforced windows, stars passed like cold fire. Humanity had lost everything, but what was left of it had become something else. Something harder. Something unstoppable. Some said they became monsters to survive. Others said they became legends. "Prepare the next jump," Hale ordered. "Set coordinates for the Zelnari homeworld." Mira blinked. "Sir, that's suicide." He smiled faintly. "Maybe. But if the universe wants to end humanity, it'll have to look us in the eye first." The Valkyrie's engines roared to life. Space twisted, the stars bending as the ship vanished into hyperspace. Far away, in the Zelnari High Council chamber, news of another lost fleet arrived. Dozens of alien leaders gathered, their voices full of panic. "They destroyed our entire outpost in less than an hour," one shouted. "No. It was sabotage. Humans cannot have that kind of power," another argued. "They shouldn't even be alive after Earth's fall." But at the end of the long table, the oldest among them spoke softly. "You don't understand. Humanity doesn't fight for victory. They fight so they never lose again." A hush fell over the room. No one wanted to admit it, but every species in the galaxy, from the mighty Illyrians to the savage Cthor, shared the same quiet fear. What if the humans weren't just survivors? What if they were becoming something more? In the cold dark beyond the stars, the Valkyrie sailed on. Inside its hull, Captain Hale stared at a small piece of metal, a fragment of Earth's last flag, burned and torn, yet still recognizable. He whispered softly, almost to himself, "They thought we'd break. But humanity doesn't break." The engines flared brighter, slicing through the void. Somewhere out there, countless alien eyes watched their scanners and trembled. Because every civilization, no matter how powerful, now feared one name: humanity. The Valkyrie tore through hyperspace, leaving a silver trail behind it. Inside, everything was silent except for the low hum of the engines. The crew moved with quiet purpose. Each one of them had lost someone, a family, a home, a planet. But none of them spoke about it. They didn't need to. Captain Ryan Hale stood before the holomap, watching red marks blink across the galaxy. Each mark represented a destroyed human colony. Each one was a wound that never healed. "Navigation," Hale said, his voice calm but cold. "ETA to Zelnari space?" 6 hours, Mira replied, checking her display. "But Captain, we're entering deep into enemy territory. Once we cross this line, no one will come to help us." Hale gave a faint smile. "No one ever does." The bridge fell quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. The Valkyrie wasn't just another ship. It was the last symbol of human resistance, a ghost of a lost species. And they were heading straight into the heart of the civilization that had once destroyed their homeworld. Meanwhile, far across the stars, in the Zelnari War Council, alarms echoed through their grand chamber. "Another fleet missing, Commander," shouted one of the officers. "Reports say a human warship ambushed them near the edge of the Orion Rift." Vecker slammed his claws against the table. "Impossible! We destroyed their fleets years ago." "But sir," the officer said nervously, "our scouts swear it was the same ship, the Valkyrie." The commander's eyes narrowed. "A ghost ship doesn't fight back. Track it. Now." He didn't know it yet, but the Valkyrie had something no other ship in the galaxy possessed: Project Echo. Hidden deep in the engineering bay, a circular chamber glowed faint blue. Tubes of light pulsed around a massive core, a fusion of human AI and alien tech stolen from the ruins of past wars. The humans didn't invent Project Echo. They rebuilt it from the remains of their enemies. Lieutenant Mira stood beside the machine, her face pale in the glow. "You really plan to use it?" she asked quietly. Chief Engineer Ramos nodded. "We don't have a choice. One ship against a whole empire. It's suicide unless we turn this thing on." Mira swallowed. "And if it doesn't work?" Ramos gave a tired smile. "Then we die faster." Back on the bridge, Captain Hale received the transmission. "Engineering ready, sir. Project Echo at 70% charge." Hale nodded. "Good. Set course for the Zelnari relay station. We'll make them notice us." The Valkyrie burst from hyperspace near the massive communication array orbiting a gas giant. Dozens of alien cruisers immediately surrounded them, their weapons locking on. "Unknown ship, this is Zelnari Command," a voice boomed through the comms. "You are trespassing in restricted space. Identify yourself." Hale's voice was steady. "You already know who we are." There was a pause, then chaos. The Valkyrie fired first. Plasma cannons lit up the darkness, cutting through the nearest cruiser before it could react. Missiles streaked across the void, slamming into the relay station and tearing it apart. The enemy returned fire, hundreds of beams sliced through space, but the Valkyrie moved like a ghost, weaving between explosions with impossible precision. Inside the ship, the core pulsed brighter. The hum grew into a roar. "Project Echo at full charge." Ramos shouted. "Do it," Hale commanded. The ship's lights flickered, then a wave of shimmering energy exploded outward, silent and invisible. Every Zelnari system within range flickered and went dark. Their ships froze. Their weapons shut down. Hale watched the sensor screen as the enemy fleet fell into confusion. "It worked," Mira whispered. The captain's face remained calm. "Send the message." Across the disabled fleet, every alien monitor, every comms channel, every digital billboard lit up with a single human face, Captain Ryan Hale. His voice echoed across the stars. "This is humanity. You burned our world. You erased our name. But we are still here. And we remember." Then the transmission ended. The humans disappeared into hyperspace once again, leaving behind silent, powerless ships and a frightened galaxy. Hours later, Commander Vecker stared at the recordings in disbelief. His people's strongest fleet, gone in minutes. Their entire communication grid, disabled. "What did they do?" one of his aides asked. Vecker didn't answer at first. He stared into the screen, at the human captain's face, and felt something cold in his chest. "They've learned," he finally said. "They've learned from us." On board the Valkyrie, the crew celebrated quietly. Mira leaned against the console, breathing hard. "We actually did it," she said. "We hit their heart and got out alive." Hale didn't smile. He stared at the empty stars ahead. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "They'll come for us now." Mira looked at him. "Then what's next?" Hale turned his gaze toward the window. "Next, we make them afraid." The engines came alive again, burning bright against the cold. In the endless dark, the ship moved forward, one small vessel carrying the vengeance of a lost world. And far across the galaxy, whispers began to spread once more. "Have you heard? The humans are back. No one can stop them." Every civilization began to prepare for war. Because the name, humanity, was no longer a memory. It was a warning. The galaxy was burning with fear. Every world, every station, every command center spoke the same words: "The humans have returned." For the first time in centuries, ancient enemies set aside their hatred and gathered together. The Zelnari, the Cthor, the Illyrians, even the cold, machine-like Varis, all formed a single alliance. They called it the Unity Pact. Its one goal: destroy the Valkyrie and erase humanity forever. In the dark hall of the council, Commander Vecker stood among hundreds of alien leaders. Their holograms filled the room, their voices full of anger and fear. "They crippled our fleet," one shouted. "They stole our technology," cried another. "They broadcast their threats to half the galaxy." Vecker raised a clawed hand. "Enough. Humanity is not a myth. They are real, and they are coming for us. If we don't stop them now, none of our worlds will be safe." "But how?" asked a Cthor general, his huge body covered in black armor. "We cannot track them. Their ship disappears like a shadow." Vecker turned toward the central screen. A glowing red dot blinked, a signal. "We found them." The Valkyrie was detected near the Karthus belt. "They're running low on fuel." He paused, his eyes narrowing. "This time, they will not escape." Inside the Valkyrie, alarms flashed across the bridge. "Multiple warp signatures detected," shouted Mira. "Dozens of ships, maybe hundreds. They're surrounding us." Captain Hale gripped the command rail tightly. "So, they've finally come." Ramos, the engineer, appeared on the comm screen, sweat on his face. "Sir, Project Echo needs time to recharge. We used too much power in the last strike. It's offline for now." "How long?" Hale asked. 6 hours, maybe more." The captain's eyes flicked to the tactical display. Enemy ships were closing in fast, the entire Unity-packed fleet. "All hands to battle stations," he said calmly. "We fight until we can't." The Valkyrie dove between asteroids, lasers flashing around it like lightning. The ship's defenses glowed as shields absorbed blast after blast. Metal screamed under the pressure. Shields at 42%. Mira shouted. "Hold steady," Hale ordered. "Target their command ships. Make them afraid to get close." The The Valkyrie twisted through the asteroid field, firing bursts of plasma that shattered rocks and enemy fighters alike. For every alien cruiser that fell, 2 more appeared. "Sir, they're herding us toward the gravity well," Mira warned. Hale's eyes widened. "It's a trap." The ship jolted violently as gravity beams locked onto it. Asteroids began to drift apart, revealing a massive Zelnari dreadnought waiting ahead, the Sovereign's Wrath. It was the largest warship ever built. Its main cannon alone was the size of a small moon. "Valkyrie," came a deep voice through the comms, "Commander Vecker. Your war ends here. Surrender, and your deaths will be merciful." Hale didn't respond. He stared at the dreadnought, silent for a moment. Then he smiled. "Mercy," he said softly. "You destroyed our world. We don't believe in mercy anymore." He turned to Mira. "Divert all power to engines. Aim for the center of that ship." Mira looked at him in shock. "Sir, that's suicide." "Then it'll be one they remember." The Valkyrie roared forward, engines glowing white-hot. Missiles and plasma bolts filled the void as the human ship cut straight through enemy fire. Shields collapsed. Alarms screamed. The hull began to melt. "Impact in 20 seconds. Ramos shouted from engineering. "We're not gonna make it." "Then give me everything," Hale ordered. "Every ounce of power." Ramos slammed his hand on the control panel. The ship's lights dimmed, and then flared so bright they blinded everyone. The Valkyrie accelerated beyond safe limits, leaving a burning trail behind it. It smashed through 2 alien cruisers, tearing them apart like paper. 10 seconds. "Activate Echo Core," Hale commanded. "But it's not ready." "Do it." The ship's AI screamed warnings, but the command was given. The core ignited. A wave of white light burst from the Valkyrie, flooding the entire system. Enemy ships froze mid-battle. Energy weapons flickered and died. Even the dreadnought's mighty cannon went silent. Vecker's eyes widened in horror. "What have they done?" Hale's voice echoed through every alien comm in the sector. "You wanted the end of humanity? Here it is, standing in front of you." The light consumed everything. For a long moment, there was only silence. No stars. No sound. Only a white void. When it faded, the Carthus belt was gone, replaced by drifting debris and quiet space dust. The Valkyrie floated among the ruins, engines dead, power gone. Smoke filled the corridors. Mira crawled to her console. "Captain, we're alive, but the core's destroyed. We can't move." Hale sat back in his chair, his eyes tired but calm. "Then we did our job." "Sir," she whispered, "they'll come again." He nodded slowly. "Let them. Every time they come for us, we'll remind them what fear really means." Outside, the stars returned, silent witnesses to what had just happened. Across the galaxy, the story spread again. The humans had faced the united might of the galaxy, and survived. And now, every civilization began to ask the same question. If one ship can do this, what happens when the rest of humanity returns? Space had grown quiet. Too quiet. After the destruction of the Carthus belt, the galaxy's strongest fleets were in retreat, scattered, and confused. For the first time in centuries, the alien civilizations realized one terrifying truth. The humans weren't just a single ship. Somewhere in the void, the rest of humanity waited. Captain Ryan Hale watched the stars from the Valkyrie's bridge. The ship floated among the wreckage of alien cruisers, silent and dark. He didn't celebrate victory. Not yet. Victory was just the beginning. Lieutenant Mira approached, her eyes filled with concern. "Captain, we can't stay here. If they rebuild their fleet, they'll hunt us down." Hale nodded. "I know. But we can't run forever. It's time to show them who we really are." He activated a hidden communications channel. Across the galaxy, signals flickered to life. Old human colonies, hidden in distant systems for decades, responded in unison. Ships that had been waiting, preparing, training in secret, powered up and began their journey toward the enemy core worlds. For the first time, the galaxy understood what the legends hadn't told them: humanity was everywhere. On the bridge of the Zelnari High Council, Commander Vecker paced nervously. Reports kept coming: missing fleets, destroyed supply convoys, entire planets unresponsive. "They are not just one ship," an aide whispered. "There are dozens, hundreds, maybe more." Vecker slammed his claw on the table. "Impossible! We destroyed Earth. We crushed every human colony we found." "You left some," the aide said softly. "Hidden colonies. Secret worlds. We didn't find them all." Vecker's face turned pale. The silence in the room was heavy. Every species in the council felt the same dread: humanity was no longer small, weak, or broken. It had survived, adapted, and now it was ready to fight back. Meanwhile, the Valkyrie moved through the shadows of an asteroid field. Hale reviewed the new fleet's orders. Each ship had a mission: strike, sabotage, and survive. Mira asked, "Captain, won't the Unity Pact see this coming?" Hale shook his head. "They think they understand us. They don't. Humanity doesn't attack with fleets. We strike where they least expect it. Chaos is our weapon." Ramos appeared, holding a small tablet. "Captain, Project Echo was just the beginning. We've reverse-engineered it. Every ship in the fleet can now carry a scaled-down version. One strike from one ship can disrupt an entire system." Hale's eyes shone. Then it's time they learned the true cost of fear. Across the galaxy, panic spread. Alien fleets scrambled to defend their worlds, but their calculations were wrong. Humanity was not predictable. The first target, the fortress world of Zoreth Prime, a heavily fortified Zelnari command center. Its orbital cannons could destroy moons. Its shields could repel entire fleets. Yet, the human ships approached in silence, weaving through asteroid belts and dead space. Communications jammed, sensors disrupted, every calculated defense turned useless. Inside Zoreth Prime, Admiral Kylix stared at the blips on his monitors. "They're here, and they've bypassed all defenses." "Impossible," his aide said, voice trembling. "They are human," Kylix whispered, more to himself than anyone else. "And they will not stop." Back on the Valkyrie, Hale prepared for the next move. "We don't need to destroy every ship," he said. "We only need to show them the cost of crossing humanity. Let one world feel the fear. Let it spread." Mira looked uneasy. "Captain, we're talking about millions of lives." Hale's gaze was steady. "The humans we lost on Earth, the colonies that were burned, they are counting on us. This is survival, not revenge. And survival sometimes demands hard choices." As the human fleet emerged from hyperspace near Zoreth Prime, energy beams flickered across the void. The enemy fired everything they had. Missiles, plasma, gravitational disruptors, a storm of destruction. The humans moved like shadows, dodging and weaving with precision no alien could predict. Small craft disabled communications. Stealth ships breached planetary shields. Bombs disrupted power grids. In hours, the fortress world was crippled, not destroyed, a message written in fire and silence. Hale watched from the bridge. Humanity isn't just a name anymore. It's a warning. Across the galaxy, leaders began to whisper. They are organized. They are unstoppable. They strike without warning. They are everywhere. Even Commander Vecker could not deny it. His entire fleet, his entire empire, had been outsmarted by a species he once thought weak. And somewhere deep in the void, the human fleet sailed on. Silent, deadly, united. The message was clear: humanity had awakened. And the galaxy had just realized, fear was not a choice. It was survival. The galaxy had changed. Every civilization knew the name humanity now, and every one of them feared it. Rumors spread faster than fleets could move. Some said humanity had more ships than stars, others whispered that they had weapons capable of tearing planets apart. None of it was fully true, yet every story carried a kernel of reality. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and unstoppable. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie, staring at the holographic map of the Unity Pact's core worlds. Red blips marked each heavily defended planet. Blue blips marked his fleet, small but deadly, ready for the counter-strike. Lieutenant Mira asked, her voice tight. Hale didn't smile. Ready isn't the word. We have to do this. Their fleets are rebuilding. If we don't strike now, they'll come for us again, and they'll bring everything they have. The human ships slipped through hyperspace like shadows, striking first at supply convoys, then at orbital stations, and finally at key planets. Each attack was precise, surgical, and terrifyingly efficient. Civilizations that had once thought themselves untouchable now scrambled to rebuild defenses, only to find their efforts disrupted before they could complete. On Zelnari Prime, Commander Vecker watched the reports in horror. The humans were not just attacking, they were teaching a lesson. Supply lines vanished. Communication networks failed. Defensive fleets were neutralized before they could react. They aren't just fighting, Vecker growled. They're reorganizing the galaxy against us. Yes, Commander, said an aide, his claws trembling. It's strategy, not random strikes. They are intelligent, terrifyingly intelligent. Meanwhile, in the human fleet, Captain Hale coordinated the attacks with cold precision. Mira, take the secondary fleet around the orbital defenses of Zoreth Prime. Disrupt the shields. Make them believe they can hold us, then show them they cannot. Myra's eyes widened. Sir, it's heavily defended. Exactly, Hale said softly. The stronger they think they are, the harder the fall will be. The secondary fleet emerged from hyperspace on the far side of the planet. Missiles streaked silently through the void. Electronic disruptors fried planetary sensors. Defensive satellites went dark. Then the humans struck, small, fast ships darting through the chaos, disabling everything in minutes. Back on the bridge of Zoreth Prime, Admiral Kylix's voice trembled. We've lost the shields. Every system is failing. Vecker, watching from his own command chamber, slammed his claw against the console. They cannot be stopped. I have never faced an enemy like this in my life. Hale's fleet did not pause. The humans moved from system to system, leaving chaos behind, but never destroying life unnecessarily. Their message was clear: humanity would fight, survive, and dominate only when necessary, but they would not forget the pain inflicted upon them. The Alien Alliance tried to retaliate. Massive fleets gathered, warships bristling with weapons that could obliterate moons. But every human strike was unpredictable. Missiles launched from hidden ships. Electronic warfare disrupted targeting systems. Even the Unity Pact's largest dreadnoughts fell into traps, ambushed by small, fast human vessels that no one saw until it was too late. Inside the Valkyrie, Hale leaned on the command rail. Every civilization has a weakness, he said quietly. Some are pride. Some are greed. The enemy relies on numbers and firepower. But they forget one thing. Mira glanced at him. What? Hale's eyes were sharp, burning with determination. Humanity doesn't fight like they expect. We fight like we must. And that makes us unstoppable. By the end of the first week, several key planets were crippled. Supply chains destroyed, communications jammed, fleets in disarray. The Unity Pact realized they had underestimated humans. Panic spread through their ranks. On Zelnari Prime, Vecker addressed the council. We must retreat. Regroup. We cannot continue like this. One human ship can topple an entire planet. And now, we face an entire fleet. But even as he spoke, sensors detected new blips emerging from the void. Reinforcements from human colonies, unseen for decades, were joining the fleet. The humans were everywhere, striking with precision, intelligence, and ferocity. Hale watched from the bridge of the Valkyrie, a small smile forming. The galaxy was learning the lesson he had waited so long to teach. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not a myth. Humanity was the force that would not be ignored. And as the human fleet moved from system to system, leaving chaos and fear in their wake, one thought echoed across every world in the galaxy. This is only the beginning. The galaxy shivered with anticipation. The Unity Pack's fleets had never faced an enemy like this. One small fleet, yet everywhere, striking with uncanny intelligence, precision, and ruthlessness. Every civilization felt it. The humans were not merely surviving. They were evolving, becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie, studying the holographic display. Red marks still dotted the galactic map, but blue ones were growing. Human fleets emerging from hidden colonies, forgotten star systems, and secret research stations. Lieutenant Mira leaned beside him. "Captain, they've mobilized even faster than we planned. Every system we've touched is sending signals. The galaxy knows we exist." Hale's eyes did not leave the map. "Good. Let them see. Fear is a weapon humans have always wielded best." Deep in the Unity Pack's command center, Commander Vecker paced before the council. The once mighty alliance was fraying. Reports of ambushed fleets, disabled warships, and crippled planets arrived every hour. "They're everywhere," whispered an aide. "Even colonies we thought secure, they are activating against us." Vecker slammed his claws on the table. "Impossible! How can one species accomplish this?" A holographic screen flickered. It displayed the Valkyrie, surrounded by dozens of smaller vessels, all human. Hale's face appeared on the screen. Calm, cold, unwavering. "They fight like shadows," Vecker muttered. "They strike, and we cannot stop them. Every weapon, every strategy we employ, it fails. They anticipate everything." The humans had secrets. The greatest among them was Project Echo. Originally a single devastating weapon, it had now evolved. Every ship carried a variant capable of disrupting enemy systems, communications, and defenses. One strike could disable a fleet, several strikes could paralyze a planet. Vecker's advisors spoke nervously. "Commander, they aren't just fighting. They're learning. Every strike seems to adapt to our responses." Vecker's eyes darkened. "Then we face something more than humans. We face intelligence honed by survival, by loss, by centuries of being hunted. We are outmatched." Back on the Valkyrie, Hale reviewed incoming reports. Myra's voice broke through the quiet hum of the ship. "Captain, Zelnari Prime has sent reinforcements. Entire fleets are converging on our position." Hale nodded. "Then we show them the truth. Humanity is not just surviving. Humanity is the storm they cannot escape." He turned to the fleet's AI. "Prepare coordinated strikes. Synchronize echo cores across all ships. Target their command systems, then their fleets. Make every action unpredictable." "Yes, Captain," the AI replied. The fleet moved in perfect synchrony. Waves of human ships emerged from hyperspace around the Unity Pack's fleets. Beams of energy lit the void, missiles streaked silently, and electronic pulses disabled every sensor in range. Entire enemy fleets froze mid-combat, powerless, while humans struck at the heart of each system. In one move, Zorith Prime's orbital defenses went dark. Communication hubs fell silent. Supply lines vanished. Every fleet commander felt the same cold realization: they were outmaneuvered. Vecker could not hide his fear. "They are too fast, too clever, too everywhere." "Yes, Commander," one aide said. "Even now, our forces are being routed across 3 systems simultaneously. If we do not act, we will lose everything." Vecker clenched his claws. "Then we must strike at their source. Find their homeworld, wherever it is. Destroy it." End humanity once and for all. Hale's voice, calm and commanding, echoed in space communications across every enemy vessel. You hunt us like prey. You think the humans have a home you can destroy? Think again. Humanity does not live in one place. Humanity lives in every star we touch, every colony we protect, every ship we command. We are everywhere. You cannot destroy us, you can only try to keep up. The message spread panic like wildfire. Fleets faltered. Soldiers froze. Leaders debated retreat. Every species in the Unity Pact realized the same terrifying truth. They could not end humanity. Inside the Valkyrie, Hale looked out at the galaxy. Project Echo was just the beginning, he said softly. We've rebuilt ourselves from the ashes of the past. Every weapon they ever used against us. We have studied it, improved it, and turned it into survival. That is humanity's strength. We adapt. We endure. We fight back. Mira glanced at him. And if they bring everything at once? Hale smiled faintly. Then we show them why every civilization fears one name. Across the galaxy, every fleet, every empire, every leader began to whisper in fear. Humanity is no longer hidden. Humanity is awake. And humanity is coming. The final battle had come. The Unity Pact's fleets, every warship, every dreadnought, and every orbital weapon, gathered near the neutral system of Arcalis. Their plan was simple: trap the human fleet, destroy the Valkyrie, and crush the remnants of humanity forever. But Captain Ryan Hale had long predicted this. Humanity did not fight like other species. They did not rely solely on numbers or brute force. They relied on strategy, adaptability, and the relentless will to survive. On the bridge of the Valkyrie, Hale stood with Lieutenant Mira and Chief Engineer Ramos. "This is it," he said quietly. "Everything we've built, every ship we've hidden, every secret colony, it comes together now. Humanity either survives, or we leave nothing behind but legend." Mira glanced at him nervously. "Captain, there are millions of enemy ships. They outnumber us 100 to 1. Hale's eyes were calm. "Numbers don't matter. Tactics do. Intelligence matters. And fear matters more than anything." The human fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. Ships of all sizes, from small, deadly fighters to massive Echo-class warships, spread across the system like shadows. They struck first at communication satellites, orbital cannons, and fleet command nodes, crippling enemy coordination within moments. "Admiral Vecker," Hale's voice boomed across enemy channels, "this is your final warning. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. Surrender now, and you may yet live." The response was silence. The Unity Pact had underestimated them for too long. They thought fear could be contained. They were wrong. The first wave hit. Small human fighters darted through the chaos, disabling dreadnoughts with precision torpedoes and jamming signals. Larger human warships deployed coordinated strikes with Project Echo variants. Entire sections of the enemy fleet froze mid-combat as their systems malfunctioned. Hale's eyes were fixed on the central command hub of the Unity Pact. "Target their flagship," he ordered. "Take out Vecker. If their commander falls, the fleet will scatter." Mira hesitated. "Sir, it's massive. No single strike can take it down." Hale smiled faintly. "Then we do it our way." The Valkyrie surged forward, weaving between enemy fire. Project Echo charged in full. A pulse of pure energy radiated from the ship, silently scrambling every electronic system in a 5-light-year radius. Shields collapsed. Weapons went offline. Ships spun helplessly through space. Vecker watched in disbelief. His mighty flagship, the pride of the Zelnari, had stopped moving. "Impossible," he roared. Hale's message came again, clear and calm. "You wanted to destroy humanity. Now you see the cost of your arrogance." With a coordinated strike from human warships, Vecker's flagship was destroyed in a controlled explosion, fragments scattering across the void. The rest of the Unity-packed fleet faltered. Confused, disoriented, and leaderless, ships began retreating. Human forces, relentless and precise, pursued them. Entire systems were liberated as colonies, and planets previously under alien control rose to assist humanity's fleet. Mira looked out at the void, awed. "Captain, they're breaking. The galaxy. It's ours." Hale's eyes were cold, unwavering. "Not ours. Humanity's fight isn't about owning the galaxy. It's about survival. Every species must remember what happens when they threaten us." As the smoke of battle cleared, Hale gathered his officers on the Valkyrie's bridge. "The Unity Pact is shattered," he said. "We have survived. We have proven that humanity is not a species to be underestimated." Ramos nodded. "We did it. Millions of lives saved, and every system we touched knows our name." Hale turned toward the stars. "Humanity has endured worse than this. We will continue to explore, to defend, and to grow. The galaxy will fear us, yes. But one day, it will respect us. And that respect will be earned by strength, courage, and survival." Across the galaxy, stories spread. The Unity Pact no longer existed as a unified threat. Human colonies, once hidden, emerged openly. Every civilization remembered the name, humanity. It was no longer just a word. It was a warning. From the ashes of lost worlds, from the shadows of forgotten colonies, humanity had risen. Their fleets moved silently through the stars, their people united, their legacy unstoppable. And in every star system, whispered among trembling alien leaders, the same word spread. Every civilization feared one name: humanity. The humans had survived. They had won. And the galaxy would never forget. White heavy check mark the end. Humanity prevails.